Right, while I've been waiting for my new repaired chain case and the starter motor to come back from Shropshire Classics, because that's still an ongoing issue at the moment, what I've done, I've been working on the wheels. So I had a new set of new stainless steel rims and spokes for both wheels that I ordered from Central Wheel Components, and I built and laced the wheels. I got a second-hand hub for the front wheel on eBay and polished it all up. I got brand new Girling discs, floating discs. So I thought the floating disc might improve the braking a little bit, because when I've ridden the bike out, the braking was pretty rubbish. So and I've got all new front bearings. Unfortunately, the bearing seals didn't really fit the hub very well, and I graunched one of them against the axle a little bit on the back bearing seal. There I bent a little bit getting it in the bloody hub, so that was a right pain. Unfortunately, it pinched against the axle a little bit, and the wheel's a bit stiff now, but I'm sure it will sort itself out in time. But I think the new Girling discs look really nice on there. I hope they are as effective as they look pretty. So the front wheel is 19-inch. The tyre on it is Avon Road Rider Mark II, and the front one I got is 100 by 90 19-inch, and so make sure that they're fitted the right way round. They have arrows on them to show if it's a rear wheel it goes one way, if it's a front wheel it goes the other. So the back one I got, it was 110/80. That's an 18-inch on the back, 19-inch on the front. The reason why I got an 80 was because I was a little concerned. You can see how close the tyre is to the oh yeah, you see it there a bit better, how close the tyre comes to the chain guard, and they were advising that the 110/90s would rub against the chain guard, so I went for 110/80. It seems to, because it's a tiny, only just a few millimeters narrower, but it helps clear the chain guard a little bit, and so you can get the wheels aligned properly and stuff. So that's nice. I got a new 47 tooth sprocket on there as well, so all nice and shiny. And that one I got there's a Girling brake disc on the other side, floating disc as well, so the back brake's nice and effective now. I was going to put new pads in as well. I've got new pads to go in there, but with the new disc I couldn't really get the new ones in. They were so tight and the wheel wouldn't go round, so I put the old ones back in there, and for the time being, and see how we get on. Just show you this picture of the state of the brake pads. They are actually hardly worn at all anyway, so they are virtually new pads. So I think replacing them was pretty pointless anyway. One thing I didn't say with the wheels, I laced them all up myself, but I got them trued up by Classic Wheel Works in Chippenham. The guy over there, Paul, he was very helpful, and he done them really quickly for me, which was nice. And it would have taken me months. I had a go at truing them up, and it's that bouncy castle effect where you adjust something on one side and the other side just goes completely out. So I thought I'll leave it to the experts to truing up, and the face of the disc to the edge of the rim, so he set that up correctly for me, which is nice. So the wheel does sit centrally in the swing arm, but that offset's quite important. I got it pretty close with me lacing it to start with, so it wasn't too much of a problem for him to set that for me. When I was lacing the wheels, that I had to make sure that I had the correct spokes on the correct side. The short ones went on the disc side and the long ones went on the sprocket side, because that sets your offset. And on the old wheel I measured the offset from the disc face. I put a straight edge across here and then measured to the rim, and it was 1.3 inches from the rim, edge of the rim to the actual disc face level. So I measured to a straight edge. So I measured that with a vernier. I got 1.3 inches. So that was then set by Paul at Classic Wheel Works for me when he trued it up. And it hopefully now is exactly the same as the old wheel that came off here. So it's always best if you've got the original wheel to measure that distance. So it's generally measured from the disc face to the rim. So that sets your offset right, and I'll show you a bit later from the back of the bike how the spokes look. I don't know whether you can see from here that the spokes are a lot straighter on the disc side than they are on the sprocket side. You can see they're definitely sticking out more towards the sprocket, and that's your offset. So so the chain runs correctly on the sprocket, and yeah. When you are lacing the wheels, particularly the back wheel, it's very important that the rims go in the correct direction as well. And you can, the way you tell you got them on the right way round is you see that the spoke arrangement, they're in groups of 4 spokes, and it goes 1, 2, 3, and this one's offset on the other side. So they'll go around the whole wheel like that. So the next one will be 1, 2, 3 this side, and the other one's offset. Now the one that's offset is on the disc side of the hub. So you know you've got the hub round the right way because the disc side's on the right hand side. And so when you fit the rim to it, you've got to fit it with these odd offset ones over on the disc side of the hub. So the back wheel rim only runs one way, so you've got to get that right. Likewise, when you're lacing the front wheel, it's important which way the spokes go. So see, the inner ones go in this forward direction, and the outer ones face backwards. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're lacing the things, putting the spokes in there, things that's the way the spokes go. It took me a couple of attempts to get it right, and you know, you get the wheel all up together and you've got to dismantle it all again. It's very frustrating because all of those spoke nipples take forever to do a complete wheel. So yeah, it's like learning by experience. And keep checking your old wheels if you've got them, just to make sure that you've got the spoke lacing pattern correct for the direction that the wheel rotates. So that's quite important point to note. The spoke kit for the front wheel had the spokes angled at the ends differently. So the inner spokes had one particular angle on, and the outer spokes had a different angle on. And I think the inner ones had the more acute angle on. But there's plenty of YouTube videos that tell you which way the angles go, so I'll let you have a look at those and sort it out. But the inners and outers on the front wheel were different. Strangely, the back wheel, when I got the spoke kit for that, there are only two types of spokes that were long and short. These wheel clamps on the bottom of the forks, you've got to be careful not to over tighten these. Make sure you tighten to the torque settings in the workshop manual, because over tightening them can cause them to crack down here. And when I took my original, these are replacement ones. I took my original ones, they had cracks that went almost all the way through. So you know, that could be quite dangerous. So again, like, don't over torque these nuts on the bottom of here, because it's very easy to over tighten them. I was thinking about fitting a hydraulic brake light switch to the front, but it appears my Bonnie's already got one, so that saves me a bit of dosh. The hub on the rear wheel is a brand new Jones CNC hub. That is looking very shiny and beautiful, so hopefully I don't get that mudded up too quickly. But I expect it is going to not retain its shininess for long, but I shall try and keep it nicely polished. When I got the spokes for the rear wheel from Central Wheel Works, I was expecting the ends to be bent differently where they attach to the hub, but they all seem to be at 90 degrees. So there were only two types of spokes, and they were long ones and short ones. And so they were then they just seemed to be at right angles for this thing, but they seem to go on all right. The front ones were different. They were bent at different angles, but for the inner and outer spokes. But the rear ones were just 90 degrees. So, but they went on okay. As I say, the short ones for the disc side, and the long ones for the sprocket side. Okay, that's just a quick video to update you on the proceedings, and I think the new wheels are looking nice on the bike, and that was just kind of something to do in the meantime while I was waiting for the starter motor stuff. I'm promised it's going to come tomorrow, but I'm not holding my breath. We shall see. Okay, bye for now.